In the ancient year of 2008, Sonic Team released the next mainline game after Sonic 06. With the context of the launch of 06, Sonic Team knew they needed to have a turnaround the likes of which the gaming industry hadn't seen. This did not happen, at least not immediately. They decided they needed something new, something fresh, something that could restore some faith in Sonic. Thus began the complete scrapping of the adventure formula in favor of an all-new gameplay style, Boost. What is Boost? I'll go into that in just a second here, but for right now I'll just say Boost gameplay was definitely controversial for a few years, but as the formula got refined and more games came out, people gradually adjusted and started to love the games that were coming out with it. At least most people. However, this game is only one part Boost Sonic. The other part is something much different. Sonic Unleashed begins with Sonic arriving at Eggman's space fleet and wrecking everything in sight like he always does. He even goes super to catch up with Eggman, only for the good doctor to unleash a beam on Sonic that wipes the Chaos Emeralds of their power, not transforming Sonic to normal, but into a werewolf hog thing that Sonic Team calls the Werehog. Eggman uses the power harnessed from the emeralds to launch a beam that splits apart the entire fucking Earth. We also see some huge creature awaken. Furry Sonic is launched, doomed to fall to his death, when suddenly, his fall is briefly stalled by some unknown force. He still hits the ground pretty damn hard though. Anyways, there's this weird little creature that says he can't remember anything that's happened to him. Sonic, after admitting he might have taken a fat fucking tumble on him,
Did I fall on him?
decides to help him find out who he is, while he saves the Earth from Eggman's latest scheme. Thankfully, the Werehog form doesn't last forever, as Sonic only turns into it at night, becoming regular Sonic during the day. It's here that we get to play the first level of the game, taking in a beautiful sunrise as we get our first taste of Boost Sonic. Now, I personally like what they did here overall. The Boost gameplay feels very fast, snappy, and responsive. And I find that it's really fun in this game to find good shortcuts and get S ranks. Seriously, every time I get like a B or an A rank, I'm just so irritated at myself and I have to go back and try to S rank it. However, there is something a little bizarre about the controls. I'm talking about the fact that the homing attack is on X or square depending on what controller you're using. Now, in the Unleashed PC port, the Unleashed Recomp, you can just change this in the Hedgehog manager, so it's not the biggest deal anymore. The thing is though, that came out just as I'm writing this. The air boost and homing attack on the same button is an accidental death just waiting to happen, and if you're not playing it on the Unleashed Recomp with a Hedgehog manager with a code that changes it, you're fucked. Anyways, in a beautiful sunny cutscene, Sonic decides to name this little gremlin Chip since he has a hard-on for chocolate chips.
How about you give me a hand and help look for somebody who knows you, Chip? Chip? Gotta call you something, don't I? What do you think? Yeah, Chip! Chip!
Look at this guy. He's got a problem. This is the first part of the game where you get to explore this beautifully crafted small hub world in Apatos, or Apatos, or however you pronounce it. Fake Greek place. Throughout the course of the game, the NPCs are fun to talk to, they usually have something to say about current events, and can give Sonic little quests and hints. I feel like this breathes life into the hub areas that Adventure 1 and Sonic 06 were severely lacking. One of the NPCs, the priest, guides you to the entrance stage, which is another small hub area where you can move around and find levels and hidden secrets. I don't know if this is a controversial take, but I feel like the first full stage of Sonic Unleashed is a masterclass in first Sonic levels. The way it starts with Sonic bracing for action, the music, the visuals, and the speed! The fucking speed!
Whew! Feeling good!
The level design is great, the enemies are well designed, and the length of the levels is usually perfect. However, this is really only half of the levels. The other half is done by Knight, as the Werehog. See, the Werehog is combat focused. Yes, combat focused. There's also plenty of platforming, but much of the Werehog gameplay is chaining hits together and getting experience points. You can use the experience to level up your combat skills, life, strength, and unleash. If you upgrade this shield, you're a pussy. Real werehogs don't use shields. We fight with our hearts on our big, stretchy arms. In my opinion though, I don't think the game is bad because the werehog is in it. And there are a lot of people who have trashed the game to hell and back just because of this guy. And I don't think the hate he gets is completely justified. There's clearly a lot of care that has gone into making the gameplay for the werehog and how he handles platforms, and the boss fights are kinda sick, at least some of them are. Also smashing these two little guys together. After beating the first day and night levels, we meet up with Tails, who whisks us away in the tornado with a mini flying level akin to the ones in Adventure 1, except they suck. See, these are all QuickTime events. Oh, how Sonic Unleashed loves QuickTime events. After 800 button presses or whatever, you get to one of the coolest places in the game, Spagonia. Yeah, they decided to call the Italy-alike Spagonia. Spagonia. The hub world is a little bigger, there are more ways to navigate it quickly, and there are plenty more NPCs to talk to and get little quests and items from. But we're here for a reason. We're here to talk to Professor Pickle, somebody who Tails knows who thinks maybe he can help us out with the whole world-ending thing. Unfortunately, Professor Pickle's been kidnapped.
What? Professor Pickle's been kidnapped?
It was a little bit before the tremors hit. This old man showed up with a whole pack of robots.
The professor has been taken somewhere in Missouri, a fictional African country with stereotypes that I'd feel weird if I didn't mention. Then again, everywhere you go in this game is really stereotype heavy. If you, play the game and look at it, you'd probably be able to tell. After a night level here, we rescue the professor who is busy bitching about his shitty sandwich Eggman fed him.
How dare they call this culinary concoction food? Look here, do you see this sorry excuse for a sandwich? The bread should be no less than 3/4 of an inch thick. Upon it, 1 tablespoon of mayonnaise and a pinch of black pepper. The contents, fresh cucumber, sliced thinly.
We gather the contents of the vault, the Gaia manuscripts. These documents explain that Dark Gaia, a mass of hyper-energy that lay dormant until recently, has broken apart the Earth. And to fix it, Sonic has to travel to each of the Gaia temples located throughout the various countries and restore the power using the Chaos Emeralds. Jesus. The professor explains that by doing this, the Chaos Emeralds will also return to normal. This is where we get our first look at the world map. From here, you can choose where to go next and change the time of day. I think one of the coolest things about the world map is that as you work through the game, you can see the results of it, and the planet gets fixed. And the NPCs will even comment about how the planet has been restored as you go along. And I think that just kind of adds on to like this lived-in feeling that it has compared to the other Sonic games I've played with hub worlds and stuff. During the daytime here, the whitest-sounding Africans of all time
Who are you?
tell Eggman to lay off for wreaking havoc on the village. Sonic shows up, prompting Eggman to flee. Side note, I really like the characterization of Sonic in this game. Once Eggman flees, rather than giving chase, he stops and asks if everyone is alright. It's kind of a small touch, but things like this for me go a long way. The Missouri daytime stage kicks ass. I love how many different little paths there are to save time if you have reflexes, and how fast and bouncy it is. Sonic catches up with Eggman, of course, and he fights the Egg Beetle, a short but sweet boss battle where Sonic prevails. It's here we finally return the Chaos Emerald to the temple and restore our first continent. We return to Spagonia and talk to the professor about what to do next, where we find Amy Rose, who still has dementia like the adventure games in 06.
Hey, let me go.
You're crazy if you think you can get away from Amy Rose and... Who are you?
Now, something you'll notice in this game is some of the people in the towns acting strange or out of character at night. This is the camera's opportunity to shine. You use the camera to take pictures of people to get Dark Gaia energy out of them or whatever. But usually you get some kind of reward or medal for it, so it's worth it. After completing the rooftop run night stage, which I think is pretty fun, I like the set pieces in it, and the platforming's pretty neat, We head to Alaska, which I think is supposed to be like, sound like Alaska, so I'm gonna pronounce it Alaska. I don't know. It's super snowy and it's super icy. And if you happen to go souvenir shopping, whatever you do not give Chip the canned horror. He fucking hates that. The daytime level here is fantastic. It's beautiful, the level design is still great, the set pieces are fun, the animals are cool, the whale, dude, the whale! The bobsled! Next is Chunan, which is based around China, and it's one of the cooler places to go in the game, at least in my opinion. Their village elder is missing because he went looking for their village treasure, and Sonic agrees to find him, and we get another nighttime level. I like this one, just not as much as the Rooftop Run level. There's not as many interesting set pieces, it's just kind of samey. It still has good vibes, and it's great music and decent level design. And upon the completion of this night stage, you're faced against a boss, the Dark Gaia Phoenix. It's essentially a bird that flies around shooting flames, and you need to douse it with water to get it to land so you can attack. The music kicks ass, and the fights in this game are usually big and grandiose affairs that are visually appealing. It's not the craziest in-depth boss fight. I mean, it is a kid's game. If you're looking for Dark Souls Gaia fights, this might not be your game. Defeating the Phoenix and rescuing the village elder, you'll learn that the village treasure unlocks the temple. With Chunan restored, we finally get to return to Spagonia and play Rooftop Run Day, which if you've seen a gaming video over the past several years, you've heard this sound being played in the background to one of them. This level is iconic to many Sonic fans and is considered one of, if not the best level in the game. It's so good, in fact, that they brought it back for generations. The level design, visuals, set pieces, and speed are simply peak here. This is exactly how you build a level for Boost Sonic. And this is essentially how the game flows. You go from place to place, sometimes to places you've already been, meeting friends old and new and unlocking more levels and abilities. If it's your first time playing, you'll notice there are these collectibles called Sun and Moon Medals. These are used to unlock more levels and advance in the game, which for some people is a major turnoff. There are plenty of people who just want to go from level to level without the hassle of looking around for MacGuffins. I get that. But the way some people reacted at the time, you'd think Sonic fans are allergic to any type of non-linear game, which some of them are. However, I feel like the medal requirements aren't really a huge deal, as they're usually relatively easy to find, especially during the Hedgehog stages. I think there was only one time I can remember that I didn't have enough medals to get into a stage, and it was pretty easy to go back to an earlier level and nab a few more. There are plenty of medals to grab in the hub worlds, both during the day and at night. You just need to look around a little. Alaska Night is kind of a boring stage. I think the set pieces are kind of bland, but I do really love the music. There are some decent platforming bits, which are still a little bit slow and clunky. But after you get done with this stage, you get to fight Dark Moray, which is a so-so boss fight. This fight in particular just feels slow and wonky, but it does have a few cool shots during the QuickTime events. After defeating it, the Chaos Emerald restores the temple and vice versa, fixing more of the planet. Side note, this is one of my favorite games with Eggman. They really did him justice after the last game. The 06 version of Eggman was a butt-ugly nematode-looking ass dude who lost all of his whimsy. Where is his whimsy? It's back now. You're safe, Eggman. After restoring the continent, Professor Pickle packs up and follows Sonic, Chip, and Tails to Shamar, where he says the next temple is. Arid Sands is a fun day stage, but oh my god, there are so many more opportunities to kill yourself. Seriously, this is where trial and error philosophy of Sonic Unleashed really shows itself. The level design is decent, with, again, plenty more hazards and ways to die. Frustrating as it might have been, it didn't deter me from having fun playing it. I D-ranked this stage. Skyscraper Scamper is a decent night stage, continuing with the trend of more pitfalls and deaths. Since it's a night stage though, I don't find dying so intimidating. Oh my god, his scream! Ah! But yeah, the platforming's alright, the music great, standard Hedgehog stuff. Arid Sands Night has some of my favorite Hedgehog music in the entire game probably, and the level wasn't a pain in the ass. Nice. Of course, next is another Werehog boss fight. The Dark Guardian is not a bad boss fight, just kind of mediocre. I like the concept just fine, it just kind of screams, I don't know, just what if we had him moving boxes and stuff? Get that man some boxes, push him around, and do a thing. After the fight, Sonic restores yet another piece of the world and heads back to Professor Pickle, who tells him the next stop is Empire City, baby. Yeah, that's what they call New York City in this game. Pretty fitting, honestly. Skyscraper Scamper Day is fast, fun, and it doesn't have too many shitty pitfalls or bullshit. It has a few places where you could fall off and die, but I didn't catch myself doing that in this level too much. I don't know if it was my muscle memory, but it was perfectly fine, and I think it's one of the most fun levels in the game. Jungle Joyride Night is arguably one of the better Werehog levels. It's shorter, sweeter, and it has great music and vibes. Jungle Joyride Day, on the other hand, remember how I said that Arid Sands was full of bottomless pits, death traps, and bullshit? Yeah, Jungle Joyride Day makes that level look like Green Hill Zone, and it's not even close. It's not that it's hard per se, it's just that it requires so much muscle memory to get a good run, or god forbid, S-rank it. That being said, once you get a handle on these harder levels, you feel like a god. You feel like Sonic himself pulling off these crazy stunts and shit. Okay, I think I should say now that everything beyond this point will spoil the end of the game / critical character arc stuff, so if you want to play this 17-year-old game and don't want it spoiled, please stop watching now and go play it. Especially if you're a Sonic fan, what are you doing watching this? Go, shoot, go play. After beating the Jungle Joyride boss, the Egg Lancer, Chip gets sucked into a wall, and is reminded through some weird spacey backdrop that he is actually Light Gaia, as in the opposite of Dark Gaia, which means that his mission is to guide a planet through its rebirth after Dark Gaia's destruction. According to Chip, Dark Gaia rises to destroy the Earth every few million years or whatever, and Light Gaia rises to restore it. Lore aside, this leads to one of my favorite cutscenes between Sonic and Chip, and shows how much they've gotten to like each other over the course of their world romp. This game has some of the best characterization in the Sonic game I've ever seen. Chip tries to leave to fulfill his purpose, but is stopped by Sonic, who decides to stick it through with him until the end and save the world. Sonic heads back to Shamar to talk to Pickle one more time, and then heads out on the tornado with Tails to get to where Eggman has amassed his army. One mediocre flying level later, and we're there. The dreaded Eggman land has come to life. The bastard finally did it, and boy is it fucked up. Eggman Land is one long stage where you're switching in the level between the Werehog and the Hedgehog. Any Sonic fan will tell you, if they've played it, that this is lengthy, difficult, and overstays its welcome a little. I do like how difficult it is, and I really like the level design for the most part. I just wish they had broken it down into smaller level chunks, maybe made 3 acts of it or something that are even a little bit longer still than the normal levels. I think that would have been way better, you know, even give it like a better, like proper little hub area even. I think that would be really fun. Anyways, it took me 34 minutes to play through it, and that's with having played it before, years ago. For more information about 34-minute-long Sonic levels, look up Sonic Rule 34. I can't imagine being new to the game and having played this stage for the first time. I mean, I did it, and it kinda sucked, but I was still very happy to have completed it. After the final Emerald is placed, Sonic and Chip defeat Eggman one last time with the Egg Dragoon boss fight. Afterwards, Eggman realizes that Dark Gaia has awoken and calls out to it. Oops. Anyways, in order to finally defeat Dark Gaia, Chip uses his recently awakened powers to summon the Chaos Temples to him in order to form a sick Gaia mech or something, which you get to use to punch Dark Gaia. This part is definitely a little too slow for my taste, but I do like how between having to get closer, you use Sonic to get in close and beat the crap out of Dark Gaia's eyeball. After doing this a few times, Dark Gaia unleashes his full power and spreads darkness all over the world. This is where you finally get those sweet Chaos Emeralds back. While Chip fights, Sonic goes super, and the final epic fight against Dark Gaia commences. Flying to his shield, Super Sonic takes it out so Chip can get in and fight it. Once it grabs Chip, Sonic flies in and absolutely demolishes Dark Gaia once and for all, saving the world from absolute darkness and disaster. The supersonic boss fight you do for this is really fun. It's not particularly challenging in my opinion, but it doesn't matter. It's so much fun. It's cool. People the world over are shown celebrating, but as we pan back underground, we get to see Chip say goodbye to his best friend Sonic and send him back to the surface, being sealed underground for the rest of time himself. In a heartfelt moment, Chip leaves Sonic his bracelet, as a memento, telling him he'll never forget their time together. Sonic runs off into the sunset, Tails flying at his side again. And that's Sonic Unleashed, quite possibly my favorite 3D Sonic game. I think its story is one of the best in the series, the soundtrack is the best in the series, sorry if you disagree, and I love the levels, themes, characters, and vibes. I think this is the last time before Sonic Frontiers that Sega tried to tell a truly great Sonic story and made something ambitious. To me, like the name of the game elsewhere in the world, this is a world adventure. I love the concept of Sonic traveling all over the place and the importance of the people you meet in towns and how they react to the changes in the game world. I love the amount of care and effort that went into Sonic Unleashed, and I truly wish that people had seen the greatness of it when it first came out. This is a Sonic game that strives to be more than it is. Though I think there are some rough spots and clunky design decisions, I think this is the last time that Sonic reached for the moon. But even if he didn't land there, you can always reach for the stars, right? Ladies and everybody else, my name is Starwalk2K, and thank you for going on this world adventure with me.
This is my escape. I'm running through this world and I'm not looking back. 'Cause I know I can go where no one